Thank you for joining me. I can feel the difference. There we go. This is the best part. I'm really happy. We're pretty much all set up. And then, see it. So welcome everybody. Backpack Mac with you here. And another wonderful adventure. Sorry for the camera. This is all new to me. But I'm here to have a good time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for joining me. So what we got going on here, I've got just my pack on my back. I've got a couple of things here, my sleep system and stuff like that. But I just started. It's about 2 p.m., 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a couple more hours, maybe like 3 or 4 more hours before the sun goes down. So if there's not a lot of footage of me hiking in, it's because I need to get a shelter built right away. I have no tent, so I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. It's a lot deeper than I thought. Alright guys, so since I don't have a tent, or like a hot tent or a proper shelter, I'm gonna have to make something. So my thought is, maybe if I can find a downed tree or something so I could have at least one side done already, then I could use my tarp that I have and cover the other side, and then build a fire in front, and then do a reflecting wall or whatever they call that there to help bounce that heat back to me. So I'm either looking for a down tree, or I'm looking for a rock wall or something of some sort, so that way I can be guarded from the one side. That's the ideal. It's going to drop down to, some are saying, the single digits tonight. Excuse me for being out of breath. There's a lot of stuff to pack in. One thing you got to look out for whenever you're hiking into a spot like this, especially when you're doing winter camping, you see this little dip here that goes all the way over and around? What that is a little stream or water that typically goes through here. So this may dip down, there may be ice here that's got that snow on top. So we want to just be very careful, because we definitely don't want to get our boots wet, because then we'd be miserable. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Look at all these down trees here. I'm actually on, shout out to my aunt and uncle for letting me use this property. That's actually their hunting stand there. But I mean, look around. I mean, we have firewood for days here. All these dead standing trees. I mean, it can't get much better than this. Stay tuned. Check it out. Looks like some deer poops. This is where they like to sleep. So I've been walking around for about maybe 20-30 minutes, still looking for the perfect spot, but I don't want to spend too much time looking for the perfect spot and use up all my daylight. So it's getting to the point where I've got to make a decision. I'm sorry for the ums. I'll get better. Quick word of advice as well. If you're looking for a campsite like I am right now, and you leave your pack somewhere, if it's the summertime, you want to make sure that you're marking the way back to your pack. Because if I start walking in a direction and all of a sudden my pack is there and I'm somewhere else and I can't find my way back, well, now I'm in the middle of nowhere with nothing. So make sure you guys are smart with what you're doing. Mark your way as you go, or pace it out, use a compass, things like that. Luckily enough, I'm in a bunch of snow, as you can see, so I can follow my track in and out. It makes it a lot easier. But be careful, guys. This is no joke. So I think I found my camp spot. Right here, I look up, I don't see any widowmakers, and bonus is that this tree actually fell the opposite way of the typical wind. So I'm thinking if I put the fire somewhere in here, I won't need to do a reflector wall there. I can put my tarp maybe over in here and block that wind from coming in this direction. And then I can set my sleeping area up here and then maybe use some sort of reflector or something like that. But I think this is it. So I'm just glad that I took the second to look a little bit longer, but I definitely got to get moving. So I will set up a camera here in a bit. This is all done off my phone. Like I said, I have to conserve battery life. I do have a battery pack and all that stuff. I feel like I'm going around in circles, but you know, maybe I won't use all this footage. I can't express how excited I am to just be out here. You ever hear the woods call your name? Every day. All right, guys, I gotta go grab my pack, bring my stuff out here. All right, so I've got, this is my, change the camera here. Go. This is my, basically my sleep system. This is completely made by me. Basically, I have 2 sleeping bags, both of them rated to 40-degree comfort level, supposedly. Then I have a wool blanket. I have a pillow, a down pillow in here. I did bring a change of clothes, so that way I make sure that if I get this stuff wet, if I sweat too much, I have something that I can change into. All right, so tripod. Probably won't end up using this, but it is there. I have I'm going to call this a Avalanche Shovel. It was $9, super light, all made of plastic. I think this part's actually aluminum. But it's going to be good for digging this out over here. So I've got that main pack here. Okay, this is the Condor 3-day assault pack. Oh, let me adjust the camera again. There we go. Okay. So inside of here, I have, as you can see, bow saw sticking out here. Okay, I have meat, which is always a bonus. Okay, and I have a few hot dogs. I did not get a steak, but that's okay. I did have some of it last night. I cooked it over the grill. Made some homemade Alfredo, so that was pretty awesome. I have water here. Okay. Nice thing about this is it does have a thing I can boil water if I need to. Obviously I won't need to here because I'm bringing water in. Nice thing about that, I can make coffee, which I plan on doing in the morning. I can also do some chaga tea, which I plan on doing. Maybe do some pine needle tea. I've never done that before. I hear it's pretty good. It's a good source of vitamin C, they say, but anyway, so that's that. Let's see, what else we got? Plate. Just a plastic plate. Okay, bag of goodies. Inside of here, I have a couple of Cliff Bars, white chocolate macadamia nut. Never had those, but I do like white chocolate macadamia nut, so maybe they'll be pretty good. I've got some aluminum foil. I have a little tin with my seasoning and stuff for my steak. The aluminum foil is going to be for my vegetables and stuff like that, which I'll show you here in a little bit. And then I just have some almonds, vanilla roasted almonds. Or actually, I think they're coconut. They're delicious. I just brought some soap. Okay, this is just your Dr. Bonner soap. So this is really good. It's a natural soap. So if I want to, that stream over there that I was showing you, if I want to wash my hands after I'm done cooking, or do things like that, wash up my pan before I throw it back in my bag, I have this. Then I have olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, for your cooking purposes. Multiple sets of gloves, since it's so wet out here, and I have these, which are a little bit grippy, and they'll help prevent my hands from getting wet. Safety goggles, never be too safe. Oh, and if everybody's wondering why I have sunglasses on in here, one, I don't want to get snow blind, because it was very bright when I was hiking in here, And two, the other thing is when you take these things off, all of a sudden you have that much more light. So it helps you kind of visualize where you're at light-wise. And you can say, okay, I've got this much light. You take these off. Oh, wait, I've got a little bit extended time. But like I said, this is my first time doing this, so, you know, give me a break. All right, so just vitamins, okay? I like to take my vitamins. Bandana, just in case I need to hold my hair back. Actually, not a bad idea. I might throw this on here in a minute. Utensil thing that I got. Old style knife here. Okay, but what's cool about it is it has a spoon and fork on there, as well as a knife and stuff like that. So that way I don't have to bring in utensils, and then at the end I can wash this if I want to. Just a nice little thing. One beer, IPA, Adirondack Brewery, Lake George IPA. It's a 6.8. I don't know if I'm going to end up drinking it or not. It just really all depends on how I feel after all this. I'm not a huge drinker, but I do like to have a beer with a nice piece of meat and around a campfire sometimes. So I might open this, I might not. Just depends on how I feel. A couple of trash bags, black trash bags. You can use these for almost anything. Plus, if you have garbage or if you have stuff like that, like I said, I'm not trying to leave trash out in the middle of the woods. Doo-doo paper, not that I plan on doo-dooing anywhere around here, but I do bring this with me because like it is cold, so if my nose is running or so on and so forth, I do have that. Coffee, chaga tea, a couple of microfiber towels, a couple different pairs of socks as well. I also have wool socks. So right now the gear or the clothes that you see me in, I'm going to change out of those clothes once I get established. So before I go to sleep at night, I'm going to change into my thermal gear once I'm all done building my shelter and doing all that stuff. That way I don't have to worry so much about getting this gear wet if I'm sweating a lot and doing whatever, because like I said, I do have not that much time. I don't know why I'm wasting time showing you guys all this, but I feel like it's good for you guys to know like what I'm working with. All right, almost done. So I have this tarp I got from a Army supply store. Very cool. Got buttons, clips on it. I'll do a video on that stuff another day. I'll break down all this stuff. If you guys have questions or you want to know more about what I have, obviously break it down. This is a really cool thing I've got. Oops, there goes that band. Okay, it's a nice little pan. Folds out like that. Okay, if you see, I've got a potato and I've got an onion in here, which we're going to use later for meat purposes. Okay. There for now. I have a little lantern, okay, and you might have seen me trucking in. I also have this bigger lantern here, all right, for all your light purposes. I also have a headlamp. Got a bag here. Now I just have some miscellaneous stuff in your headphones. I have my little fire making kit here, lighter, stuff like that. So just a little pack with miscellaneous stuff in here. Fat wood, okay? So, I love the smell of that. You can get these things like fat wood, stuff like that. You don't have to spend crazy amount of money. You know, you don't have to go crazy with all this stuff, you know? There's a lot of things that if you look in a different area other than what it's specifically made for, you can find some really good stuff for really cheap. So I'll definitely do some videos on that if you guys want. Make sure you guys hit up the comment section. Obviously, this will be constantly upgraded and updated as I go. So this is just the blade for my saw. I have a bow saw here, little axe. This is, I guess what I'm going to use is my primary bushcraft knife, just a charade. I'm not sure what the technical term for this. It's not a machete. It's like a, oh, I don't even know. It's like, okay, amazing. I love this. I mean, I used this the other day on, maybe for an hour or so, chopping up stuff and doing whatever, and it is still razor sharp. I mean, I literally can shave the arm hair off my arm. Okay, after using it in the rain and everything like that, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I have an emergency blanket, so I'm going to use that for reflecting, I think, on one of the sides here, and then I'll use the other tarp on the other side, so that's what that's for. And in the event that I want to use it for an emergency blanket, obviously I can. Okay, This is a Bushcraft Book, okay? I personally like to learn different things as I'm out in the wild. So I will take this with me if I'm sitting around the fire and I've got some extra time. Maybe I'll look through it and, you know, try some different stuff. That's what this is, a little bit of reading at night. And here I just have some more food stuff, mushrooms, garlic. Bow saw. On the sides here, I just have more water. Other miscellaneous things in here, I just have my contact solution stuff, just in case something happens with my contacts. And I also brought my glasses. And that's pretty much it. I will, like I said, get into the sleeping system once I get a little bit farther, but I don't want to break that open and have everything all over the place. So I'm going to just put this back together a little bit so my stuff isn't kind of all over. I'll put my saw together here, and then we'll get going. New to this, couldn't tell. I'll figure it out. So I got it dug out pretty good here. I packed down the snow. I've got that tarp up. Now, I dabbled with the idea of putting that emergency blanket over here, but to be honest with you, I don't think that's really gonna do much good for me. So I think what I might try to do here is, I've got a couple sticks here. Maybe I can do an over, and that will help retain some of the heat in here, and will create a little pocket for me. So I'm going to try to do that. Here is what I have so far. I got that tarp up there. Hopefully reflect some heat down. I'm sleeping over in here. So the only thing I don't like about using one of these trees is all this dirt and stuff. If you hit up against it, as you can see, it all falls down. So could be a dirty sleeping, but at least we'll be warm. I do have a couple of holes up in there just in case I get smoke and stuff like that. I'm pretty excited. Maybe about an hour or two worth of light left. I still got a bunch of firewood to get. I haven't gotten any yet, really. But the good news is, like I said, there's just firewood everywhere here. So worst comes to worst, in the middle of the night, if I need to, you know, I'll just take my headlamp, go out and get some more. But for me, the primary was this. While I could see getting this, I'm protected from the wind, and I'm protected, and I've got a little heat here. I think I'm going to be good. All right, stay tuned. It's not like work. I got a good amount of firewood. I probably need way more, but I think it's time to set up. Maybe get a fire going, stuff like that. I don't know. See what we can do. I'm not really sure what the best way to do this is. I got all the snow and everything here. So maybe if I put sticks and stuff, maybe if I just use some rotten wood, you know, just whatever, just to create a little layer there so that I can get a base going, and then obviously that'll probably melt a lot of the snow that's here. So I don't have a metal shovel. I can feel the difference, by the way, from out there to in here. This reflective is working beautiful. I'm pretty excited about this. The people that were wondering when I was grabbing firewood why I've got a bunch of what looks like rotten-ish wood, it's for the base of the fire. So I'm hoping once I get a nice stable whatever, that'll melt down and I'll have a nice pocket of loveliness. Again, it's all in theory. I'm only human. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see what we do. See what happens. Stay tuned. So I got my base here. Now I went and grabbed some bark off a tree. I'm going to put this down here like that. I think that will be a good base for my fire. I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is good. It'll at least get my fire started. I'm out of the wind, I'm good to go. I've got a couple different types of tinder. I got this grass here. It's pretty dry. I also have inside my little fire kit here some wax paper and also some cotton. The thing I don't like about this thing is the sparks don't actually come off. So every time I spark, you can see it here, it's just kind of burning this thing. But look, it's like almost half gone already. I'll just try this wax paper actually. Last wax paper first. If that doesn't work, I'll try the cotton. And if that doesn't work, try lighter. There we go. Wax paper. Let's get this going here. There we go. Get our sticks quickly. Get our phone. Don't hold it too hot. Okay, it's okay. Wax paper. Little sticks in there. Hopefully we can get something to catch. This is the best part of the whole thing. Once you get a fire going, that's when it feels like camping. So I'm going to mess around with this a little bit, get it going more, get it built up. I've got a bunch of firewood, real long. I didn't cut them up, and I got another one over here. So I think I'm going to be good for the night. But like I said, as you can see, there's just wood all over the place. So not that big of a deal. But I'm going to let you go for now. I'm going to get this fire going good. I'm going to get some food prepped, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. going good now. Even over here, it's considerably warmer than it is. Oh, it's so much warmer. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. This is a huge success so far. We've got fire, we've got shelter, we've got food. I don't know what else you could ask for, to be honest with you. God is good. All right, we're pretty much all set up. I've got my sleeping roll. It's a little close to the fire now, but I'm going to do a little cooking there, so that's not a big deal. As you can see, it is just about dark. The sun is gone. So this is what we got to work with. I'm excited and hungry. Welcome back. All right, it's food prep time, which I'm pretty excited about because I am very hungry. To be honest with you, I'm exhausted. I can turn my headlamp off so you can see me without being blinded. I'm exhausted. Like I said, I was up till probably about 1 o'clock last night, I think. And then I slept, but I couldn't help but sit there and think about, today. And like, oh, well, for whatever reason, it's something that I need to work on, and it's something that I am working on, that worry factor. Because, to be honest, one thing I've learned in all of my research, through reading, through online, through everything, is that the key to having anything you want is visualizing it and manifesting it. And so many people will say, how is that work? How is that possible? How, you try to break it down. Well, I did that for a while, and it didn't make sense to me. But one thing I found is that through reading the Bible and things, is that Jesus' teachings and manifestation are very close. But that's a story for another video. Let's get to cooking. Definitely gonna be not so much a muddy mess, but potentially. All right, quit talking, Eric. Let's go. Come on, get to cooking. Look at the size of this thing. It's so thick too. I accidentally stepped on it when I was coming in and out, but nice and tender. Will be. Huge strip of gristle on here, which is excellent for what I need, which is some calories. I'm thinking if I run a stick right through this, put it over the fire, that should be plenty. Honestly, I am hungry, but I'm tired. I am very tired. And that could be partially due to being hungry, but I might just throw it up in some aluminum foil. That way I can just throw it in there. Set. I'm not going to slice these up like crazy. Just we're bushing it. We're bushing it, guys. We're bushing it. Okay. This knife is a little small for this. There we go. Now, the thing about mushrooms. The thing about mushrooms you have to think is like, oh, that looks like a lot of mushrooms, right? They shrink down so much, maybe a quarter the size. So that's one of the things you got to watch out for. If you're doing, especially if you're doing a dinner for a bunch of people, or even a good amount of people, and you want to have a good amount of mushrooms there, then make sure you do quite a bit, because they will shrink, and then everybody's going to be like, man, I wish there was more mushrooms. And there's like literally a pool of water in there. Crazy. Got a little bit of garlic here. I'm I got a lot of garlic. Definitely should have done this stuff before. We live, we learn. That's a lot of garlic. I'm going more. Love me some garlic. Done with mushrooms, garlic. Just cut them once this way. There we go. Okay. That. Now I think instead of doing this in the pan, which wouldn't be bad, honestly. I could do it. Actually, very nice. I don't know. Hear that owl? I'm fashioning myself a little stick here. See it? Hoping that I can do my meat on here. And I need to beef up that fire here in a minute, I guess. Steak seasoning up in there. Some garlic. Red pepper flakes. There we go. There we go. It's probably going to be a little salty, but that's okay. Alright. There's that. Got our stick. There's the other. They make it look easy. I'm going to have to do something with this fire first. That snow is melted all in there and it's just a pool. So it's really hard to keep a good coal base. Okay, so I did end up doing the stick to get the meat cooking. So I got that going. I had to stop recording and pay attention for a minute. I was too busy jibber jabbering and whatever, but I've got my mushrooms and everything all cooking in there, and I have my meat cooking up here. So I am going to cut up some firewood and do that while this is cooking. You can see I have a bunch of wood on the fire, but it's not really burning. The reason for that is because it's not really 100% dry. So this is one tactic to kind of dry out your wood a little bit while you're doing something else, and it helps out so that way when you're done cooking, I can throw some wood on there, get this fire kicking real good, and go from there. One of the things though it's definitely struggling with a little bit is the wet wood. And this, well, really, honestly, the wet wood isn't really the issue. It's the snow. Note to self: bring a shovel of some kind next time and dig all this out, so that way you don't have it. So you can kind of see it. You can see it in here. It's just a pool of water. So all this that you see here, this is all just floating in the water. So it makes it definitely difficult to keep a nice bed of coals to do cooking and stuff. We'll get her done. Smoky. No, I'm just kidding. It's all steam. Okay, be back in a bit. All right, I'm all done cooking. It's time to see how we did. I mean, it's not perfect, but sure looks good. Check it out. I got my mushrooms and stuff. Let's open this up. Pretty good. And then we got our meat. Check it out. It's hard to see. It looks redder in the thing than it is in reality. I'm guessing it's just the way the light is. That fire is roaring now. There we go. One thing about this stuff, for sure, is you appreciate home life. You know? I just turn on the heat, done. Don't have to worry about getting firewood, doing all that stuff. But, oh well. Here's our food. See it? Let me bring this up. Turn it up. Looks good. Alright guys, I'm gonna eat. Oh, so good. So good. Do a little dance. My garlic. It is a little spicy, to be honest. A little salty, but it's good. I had to move the tarp a little bit. The fire was getting a little intense. I just bought that thing. I didn't want it to burn it. So honestly, I am sweating right now. I haven't even zipped up my coat since I've been here. I haven't changed into my thermals. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I've been running around a lot, so I would love to get a little spot set up. Maybe I could do that here. A little spot, so when I come out here, you know, I can do projects and do stuff and actually make some stuff. And I have to sit on the ground or on my bag. But it would be nice, definitely, to have like a, you know, make like a little table over there, you know, stuff like that. That meat came out so good. Oh. Wow. God is good. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know? One thing I did want to say is thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this adventure. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. I know it's probably not the best quality because I'm doing it on my phone, and I didn't have all that much time to get firewood, to get all that stuff and do all that, so it's probably a little bit lacking in that aspect. But what are you gonna do? First time for everything. Inside of here, I have close. I have wool blanket and pillow, and I have 2 sleeping bags. That's it. That's all I got in there. not very exciting. I gotta be honest, I'm exhausted. I didn't even eat all my food. Ate about half of it. Not that it wasn't good, it was delicious. Definitely animals around here. Alright, everybody. Oh, I really do appreciate you hanging out with me. Bring some light over here. I appreciate you hanging out with me. But I think I'm going to pass out. Oh, is it snowing? Oh, look at that. I think it's snowing. That's pretty cool. Stars were out for a little bit. Oh yeah, they're still out. Couple. Yeah, I sound winded because I'm tired. Alright. That's enough for today. Almost midnight. And it just started snowing a little bit ago. Probably about half an hour ago. So I went ahead and changed the shelter around. So I took the tarp from over there, and which was my wind tarp, kind of blocking the wind a little bit. But well, you can't see. Wow, it's coming down, and the battery's too low to use the flash. Well, I'm kind of hoping, honestly, that it stops snowing. I mean, it is nice, but I mean, I've got a makeshift shelter. Probably gonna just end up letting the fire go out. I got this wool blanket, so I'm thinking I'll just cover up good and hope for the best. I just wanted to say also, you know, thank you again for coming along with me. If I don't end up getting the walk out, my battery's really close to dying. I know I said I had that battery pack, but unfortunately, I, like a dummy, didn't bring the right cord to charge my phone. I brought the cord to charge the battery pack, but the battery pack's already charged, so it's kind of not really. Anyway, see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Well, afternoon. So, update on what happened last night. Basically, I did end up taking off. At about 11 o'clock, midnight or so, it started snowing, which wouldn't have been bad. It was a little dusting, but it just kept coming and coming. As you can see up here, this started to fill up, and this here, well, if I touched here, this would all fall on me here. So, what ended up happening, I ended up taking this tarp that was over here. If you remember, I moved it up over here, and to try to block some of the snow, but the difficulty I had was the space here. So I know that this is not the best way that you could set it up, but like I said, I was on a finite amount of time. I wanted to make sure I got firewood and all that stuff. And to be honest with you, I probably did way too much talking. And the snow just kept coming down and right up. So I took out the wool blanket. I was like, all right. And then the snow got all in my fire because I had moved this. So now snow started coming in more. My fire ended up going out because all my wood that I had gathered now had snow all over it. I didn't, you know, in another event I would have planned it out a little bit better. But the other thing, maybe about, I didn't leave until maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I hiked out of here, pitch black. I grabbed basically everything except for these two tarps, the lantern, basically whatever you see in the thumbnail there, that's what I left here. So I came back, grabbed the stuff here this morning. I figured I'd give you guys an update because my phone died right after. That was the other reason why I had left, is because my phone was at 2%. And I'm probably a good maybe mile from civilization even. And by civilization, I mean my aunt's house. But the whole way there, since it had snowed so much, the snow, I wish I had brought snowshoes, because you know when I came in, the snow wasn't that bad, but on my way out, and even this morning, the snow, you know, was up to here. I think end up sleeping for maybe 15 minutes or so before the coyotes started howling in that field, like right there. Or not howled or yipped or whatever they would do. If I had my fire here set up and everything, I'm sure they wouldn't bother me. I don't have a pistol or anything like that on me. I know typically coyotes, they're, you know, more scared of you than you are of them, but, you know, when I've been cooking food in here and things like that, I'm sure they could smell the meat. I did put my food up in a tree, you know, maybe 50 feet or so away from camp. Probably should do that a little bit better next time. So definitely learned a lot in this trip. I wouldn't say it was a failed trip, but it was definitely not the best. Still a lot of fun. You know, I would definitely do it again. Next time, you know, I've got all sorts of different ideas. I definitely need a tarp. That would be a key thing. And this here ended up dropping stuff. So periodically throughout the night, this would move with the fire coming up and everything like that, and this would like kind of like move like almost like a sail a little bit in the wind too, and it would drop dirt on me as well. So not only am I getting snowed on, I'm getting dirt dropped on me. It was pretty warm though for most of the night until the fire dropped down, and then when I ended up taking off around 3:30, 4 o'clock, like I said, it was definitely really cold. I was freezing. Getting dressed, getting back up, I was doing the shivers because, you know, you're fine in your sleeping bag and you're when you're good, you know, wool blanket and all that stuff, but you know, you start getting snowed on over and over, and you know, you try to clear it off and do that, and it got to the point where, you know, I had been getting in and out of the sleeping bag so much that my body temperature was starting to drop, and without having that fire, I, you know, was having a hard time regulating it. So with no phone being almost dead, no fire, snowing like crazy, and the coyotes right around the corner, it was time to call it. So I hiked back out. I went back to my apartment, about a half-hour drive from here, maybe about 45 minutes depending. Like I said, the snow was getting pretty deep, so it was a little bit difficult as far as the drive home, but you know, it did feel good to sleep in my own bed. But I will say I couldn't think about anything but this, you know, wondering if the wind was going to blow, wondering what was going on with, you know, the few things that I had here. So I'm definitely glad I took off. You know, could I have made it another couple of hours? Probably. But when I was hiking out of here, I was so exhausted. You know, you got 20 pounds in your arm, and then you got maybe a, you know, 50-pound pack on at least, walking out here in snow up to here. And you know, it's all, you know, you're all uneven ground, moving, snow getting inside my boots. I did pull, you know, my pants up over my boots. I need to get that's one of the things I definitely need to get is a pair of gaiters, snowshoes, things like that. I mean, if I had a set of gaiters, it wouldn't be so bad. Another thing that would be good is get a sled. You know, if I'm going to continue to do this, put my stuff in a sled and I can just pull it. That would be so much easier. Honestly, it's so far back here, and in the middle of the dark, or middle of the night, or middle of the dark, middle of the night, actually in the morning, I'm sorry, first thing in the morning or whatever, you know, 4 o'clock, so dark. You know, the stars were out earlier, but like I said, once it started snowing, those stars were all gone. Overall, I'm definitely glad. I don't think it was a failed trip. My brain is fried. I don't, so, anyway, that being said, and the wind picking up, I think it's time to get out of here. I do thank you so much for hanging out with me. I don't know if I was in the middle of a point, but honestly, my brain's so shot. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, guys, gals, whoever. God bless. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you join me on the next one. Later. So good. Do a little dance. So good. Do a little dance.